What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell. Today on the Hard Count, what are the reasonable expectations for Miami in 2022? Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel. Everything you know, everything you love about college football happens here. Happens nearly every single day. Would encourage you to subscribe. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie, doing the heavy lifting, help drive the show at my Twitter page, at JD Pickell. Now, Miami has made a lot of noise since the college football season, or the regular season, I should say, came to a close. Mario Cristobal, the new man at the helm. There's a lot of buzz in Coral Gables, a lot of exciting things going on. We're going to break down what should you expect from this program in 2022. Some people are through the roof. Some people still don't think there'll be any change. We're going to talk some real to you. So first and foremost, I expect the offense to take a good little step, but I also think it'll take some time to gel, right? Because you got a new offensive coordinator in Josh Gaddis. And if you look at what Josh Gaddis did at Michigan, one, it was really impressive. Two, it took some time for him to figure out what ingredients he was working with, because his style of play changed from year one to just this last season when he was at Michigan. Came into Michigan, he was like an inside zone kind of guy, going to make sure they attack you all over the field, spread you out. Last season, they were going to play to their personnel. They were going to run the football. They were going to throw when they had to, off-play action. They played to their personnel. And so for Josh Gaddis, how quickly can you get a gauge for the ingredients you're working with? How quickly can you figure out what Xavier Restrepo likes, what Tyler Van Dyke likes? I think that will take a little bit of time. Again, the spring will be huge for them, but I think it will take a game or two. Now, fortunate for Miami, they have Bethune-Cookman, and they have Southern Miss the first two games. Now, game 3, got to pack up the boys, put them on a plane, get to College Station and play Texas A&M. That's going to be a great litmus test for where Miami's at. So those first two games are going to be crucial for figuring out exactly what they have offensively and how quickly they can gel. Again, I think they will gel. I don't know how quickly it will happen under Josh Gaddis. Now, when it gets going, it's going to be off to the races. When they get it right, I don't think it'll be a whole lot of tinkering. But that build-up process is something I'm watching very closely and something I think will at least take the first two games. Now, I also, to that same token, expect Miami to be competitive for an ACC championship going into the month of November. The month of November schedule is as follows. Florida State at home. You go to Atlanta and play Georgia Tech at Bobby Dodd. Then you go to Clemson. So a tough back-to-back stretch there on the road, depending on how those teams look this coming season. Then you finish with Pitt at home. Pitt, the defending ACC champions. That stretch, to me, is extremely doable. With all things considered, I think that will be what makes them ACC champions or not, or if they get a chance to play for an ACC title or not. They have the pieces to do it. We've talked about it on this show. They have the scheme to do it. I think it's just a matter of how quickly can you get it all going together. I love who they have at quarterback. I love the fact that it'll be his second year as a starter, getting comfortable. He got thrown into the fire a year ago with Derek King getting hurt. Mario Cristobal is the man. They're going to be able to have a chance to do it. November will be the telling piece to if they do it, right? Catch my drift, following along, phenomenal. And finally, this is a piece that I don't think is quite as quantifiable, but something that I think will be the calling card for Miami this year and years to come, and will, I think, signify to the entire college football landscape, and Miami fans will be able to call it out first and foremost when they see it. This team isn't going to flinch. How nice is that if you're a Miami fan? This team isn't going to flinch. They're going to take on the persona of Mario Cristobal. And Mario Cristobal is, one, a person who doesn't flinch himself, so the team will take on his persona in that sense, but even more so, he's going to give them the hardest time in practice. So when they get to the games, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but it's going to be the next best thing. I love a story he told to a reporter this past week about spring practice. Talked about his team goes in, scores a touchdown. They have officials on the field, and Mario Cristobal goes to the official. He says, hey, throw a flag. Not because there was a penalty, just because he wanted his team to have to face that kind of adversity. Big play, guess what? 15-yard penalty. Have to back it up. Have to find out what you want to do. Find out who you're going to be. And it's situations like that where Miami's going to be familiar with adversity. Adversity is going to be their friend, to where you're going to get down 10 points on the road in Atlanta against Georgia Tech and say, no problem. That's fine. We're good for it. Hey, boys, we're good for it. Nobody panic. They're not going to flinch. They're going to play in Death Valley, a game that I think will ultimately be the turning point for them because I think they get past Pitt pretty easily. I think they get past Florida State pretty easily. I think they get past Georgia Tech. That game at Clemson in Death Valley will be a huge turning point for their season. It wouldn't surprise me if they're down at some point in that game, but guess what? With the makeup of this team and the way that Mario Cristobal is going to prepare them to face adversity head on, to not panic, and ultimately to not flinch, I think it's going to be a really exciting season in Coral Gables. Mario Cristobal, a guy who was he had a CIA agent offer or something like that, like the CIA wanted him to work for them. That's crazy. And if it's one thing that Mario Cristobal does well, he hires great coordinators. Obviously, if you look at who they got on their staff right now, they've done a great job building their program to recruit well, and that's going to happen. That's going to be something that we talk about in future videos, have talked about in videos already. But if he does one thing well, it's culture. Players buy into what you're building if you're Mario Cristobal. We saw it at Oregon. We're going to see it at Miami in these coming years. I think that buy-in will happen relatively quickly because this team is hungry. This team knows what they can do. We talked about it in a previous video. They're poised. They got a lot under the hood. They got a lot in this car to make it go fast. They know they need to buy in to make it happen. I think buy-in will be high. I think culture is phenomenal. Put them together. You're in for a really exciting season in Coral Gables. Again, can the offense gel? How long does that take? November, it's winning time. Don't flinch, baby, under Cristobal. That's it for us here on CFB with JD. This has been The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Quick PSA. We've got a phenomenal set behind us. Jack McKenzie and Colt Barber, Armstrong Sims went bananas and made this thing look sick. We're still filling it out with some cool merch. Still filling out with some cool memorabilia, I should say, is a better way to put it. If you have something you're able to part with, message me on Twitter. We'll figure something out. We'll make sure that you get compensated accordingly. It might not be financial. We're going to make sure that it all works out. If you have something you want to send our way, would love to make that happen. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time.